Have you ever wondered if your spouse has been replaced by an imposter? Or experienced the uncontrollable urge to get rid of some of your limbs? Probably not, and if you have, well, we feel sorry for you. It's no doubt that mental disorders of all types can be uncomfortable experiences for the sufferer, yet there are a few rare mental disorders that have been diagnosed throughout history that are said to be especially terrifying. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we'll be talking about 13 of history's scariest mental disorders. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 1. Boanthropy. We've all felt foreign to ourselves at one point or another when life doesn't go as planned. However, it's a little different when you feel foreign for being who you are because of the overwhelming belief that you are in fact a cow. Yep, you heard that right. Boanthropy is a very rare, very scary mental disorder that has the sufferer believing that they are a cow. Yes, the mooing kind. People who suffer from boanthropy have been documented to behave as a cow by chewing on grass, walking on all fours, and feeling comfortable when in the presence of other cows. The really odd thing is that these people tend to go into a type of hypnosis when they don't exactly realise what they're doing in the moment. Number 2. Clinical lycanthropy. Similar to those with boanthropy or the belief of being a cow, those who suffer from clinical lycanthropy have a strong belief that they are able to transform into mostly particularly wolves or werewolves, although other animals have been documented. Similar to boanthropy, these individuals will begin acting like werewolves by howling and finding dark wooded areas to hide or even to sleep. Number 3. Capgrass Delusion. Capgrass Delusion, named after the French psychotherapist Joseph Capgras, is a debilitating mental disorder where the sufferer has an overwhelming belief that the people around them have been replaced by imposters. Not only does this make for a terrifying experience of confusion and lack of trust in your loved ones, it's also usually accompanied by the harmful belief that these imposters are set out to harm the individual. This type of mental disorder is most often seen in people who have experienced significant trauma to their brain, or in those who have been diagnosed with dementia or schizophrenia. Number 4. Cotard Delusion. It's thrilling to think of what would happen in the case of a zombie apocalypse on Earth. Yet, what if you were convinced that you were the zombie? Well, Cotard Delusion is exactly that. This terrifying mental disorder causes the sufferer to literally believe that they are the walking dead, or even already a ghost. These sufferers are totally convinced that their body is decaying, rotting, or losing blood to internal organs. In fact, this illusion of their body breaking down is a big part of the delusion, causing extreme depression even though they are convinced that they are already dead. Number 5. Diogene Syndrome. Diogene Syndrome is a more complex term for the act of extreme hoarding. Hoarding is definitely more common in comparison to disorders we've already discussed, yet is one of the most misunderstood. Diogene Syndrome is characterized by the intense emotional desire to keep and collect random due to the strong emotional attachment that they form to items. These sufferers usually also exhibit traits of extreme self-neglect, self-sympathy, a victim mentality, social withdrawal, and no shame or willingness to change their ways. Most hoarders also lack a steady living environment or relationships, which feed into the need to find emotional attachment in other ways, like through things. Number 6. Dissociative Identity Disorder. Another disorder that is a little more well known, DID or Dissociative Identity Disorder, also formerly known as Multiple Personalities Disorder. DID is an extremely scary mental illness that is often misunderstood because of how it's portrayed in Hollywood movies and shows. Generally speaking, these sufferers usually have 2 to 3 different identities in their mind that they uncontrollably routinely cycle through. They can switch identities at any time, with no given notice, yet one personality can last anywhere from hours to years. People who are diagnosed with DID usually have experienced some type of trauma that subconsciously creates these other personalities as a coping mechanism, yet it's almost impossible to convince someone that they have it. Number 7. Factitious Disorder. We all know what a hypochondriac is, someone who is convinced that they have an illness of some sort, yet there is no proof or legitimate symptom to back up their claims. However, what about when someone is obsessed with being sick? Factitious disorder is exactly that, characterized by the obsession with being sick. Sufferers from this mental disorder may actually go out of their way to make themselves ill in order to receive treatment. This obsession with sickness causes the person to also have interest in everything that comes with it, such as treatments, appointments, results, etc., and could be the result of trauma or having an actual serious illness in the past. Number 8. Culver Syndrome. Come on, Betsy, we're almost up the hill, just a couple more miles. We all talk to our cars every now and then, heck, most of us even name them. 56% of Americans, in fact. However, naming your car is a little different compared to the act of being sexually attracted to our car, or maybe even craving a taste of the steering wheel. However, that's the reality for people who suffer from Culver Syndrome, which is characterized by the overwhelming desire to eat inedible objects and have sexual attraction to inanimate objects, such as cars. These sufferers also have a difficult time recognizing objects or people that should be familiar to them, which makes researchers believe that this disorder has to do with trauma in the frontal lobe of the brain. Number 9. Paris Syndrome. Paris Syndrome is another extremely odd mental disorder that causes the people to become overwhelmed with negative feelings while visiting the city of Paris. These feelings include overwhelming anxiety, depersonalization, derealization, hallucinations, and acute delusions. Although the phenomenon is short-lived, only lasting the duration and slightly after the trip, some people who experience this sort of fear and uninterest in ever traveling again. Doctors and researchers actually don't have a clue why this is happening, yet it is documented to be very real. Number 10. Reduplicative Amnesia. Similar to Capgrass Syndrome, where the sufferer believes their loved ones have been replaced by imposters, people with reduplicative amnesia believe that a location has been duplicated. This type of disorder can show in many different scenarios, yet almost every situation the individual is convinced that a specific location exists in 2 places at once. This type of disorder is almost always associated with another underlying mental condition such as dementia, brain injury, or other psychiatric disorders. Number 11. Stendhal Syndrome. You know the overwhelming, peaceful feeling of watching a beautiful sunset go down? Well, there can be such a thing as too much beauty at one time, which is the basis for this rare mental disorder. The syndrome occurs when the sufferer is exposed to a large variety of art in one place, or in any other environment that is characterized by extreme beauty. The individuals who experience this strange phenomenon report sudden rapid heartbeat, extreme anxiety, confusion, dizziness, and even hallucinations. Fortunately, Stendhal Syndrome is said to be temporary, only lasting in the moment experienced. Number 12. Apotenophilia. Apotenophilia is referred to as amputee identity disorder, is characterized by the overwhelming desire to amputate or damage a healthy or working part of the body. Although researchers still don't know too much about this terrifying neurological disorder, it is said to be associated with damage to the right parietal lobe of the brain. Most doctors will refuse to unnecessarily amputate any area of the body, often leading the sufferer of this disorder to take measures into their own hands. Risky business, to say the least. On the bright side, of those who have the undesired limb removed, most patients report extremely satisfied with their decision. And number 13, Alien Hand Syndrome. Alien Hand Syndrome seems like it could be taken right from a sci-fi movie, a terrifying fiction film to be specific. However, this extremely terrifying mental disorder is no joke. Although it is extremely rare, Alien Hand Syndrome has been documented to cause the sufferer to lose complete control of one or both of their hands. But it doesn't stop there. Alien Hand Syndrome is characterized by the affected hand taking on a mind of its own. Some sufferers have even reported their alien hand choking them, ripping clothes or scratching skin to the point of bleeding. This disorder is also usually accompanied by another mentally damaging disorder. Well, that's it for today, Psychos. So, which mental disorder is the most terrifying to you? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.